The secret power of silence that makes a woman chase you. Confidence and charisma psychology. Awaken mindset. Opening, there's a kind of power that doesn't come from how much you say, but from how much you don. Single quotes too. Think back to a moment when you were with someone you deeply liked, your heart racing, your mind scrambling for the right words. You probably thought, if I just say the right thing, if I keep the conversation flowing, she'll notice me. She'll feel something too. But here's the paradox that very few men ever discover. It's not your words that make her chase you, it's your silence. Silence is magnetic. It creates mystery. It gives space for curiosity to grow inside her mind. When you're comfortable with silence, it signals a level of confidence that most men never reach. Instead of filling every gap with nervous chatter, you let the quiet moments breathe. And in those moments, something fascinating happens. She starts to lean in. She starts to wonder. She starts to chase. Psychologists call this the curiosity gap, when the brain senses a missing piece. It feels compelled to fill it. In dating and attraction, your silence becomes that missing piece. Instead of proving yourself with words, you invite her to imagine who you are beneath the surface. And women chase what they can't fully figure out. In this video, we'll explore the secret psychology behind silence, why it works, how to use it without being cold or distant, and real-world examples you can apply today. By the end, you'll understand how silence isn't weakness. It's a form of power. The kind of power that makes a woman not only notice you but pursue you. Welcome to Awaken Mindset. Let's dive in. Part 1. The hidden psychology of silence. Silence has always been misunderstood. Most people think it's awkward, uncomfortable, or even a sign of weakness. But psychology paints a very different picture. In social interactions, silence is interpreted through the lens of confidence. If a person can remain calm, relaxed, and unbothered in moments of quiet, it signals self-assurance. And self-assurance is one of the strongest triggers of attraction. Dr. Albert Mehrabian, psychologist famous for his research on communication, discovered that only 7% of communication is verbal. The other 93% is nonverbal tone, body language, and yes, silence. This means that often what you don't say communicates far more than what you do. Women, in particular, are highly sensitive to these nonverbal cues. Evolutionary psychology suggests that women look for signs of emotional stability and confidence in potential partners. A man who can stay grounded in silence shows he isn't desperate for approval, isn't easily shaken, and isn't trying to overcompensate. Let's take a real example. Imagine two men on a first date. The first man nervously fills every gap with chatter stories, jokes, explanations. He thinks he's impressing her, but what she feels is pressure. He's trying too hard. The second man speaks with ease, but when silence comes, he simply smiles, takes a sip of his drink, and relaxes. He doesn't rush. He doesn't panic. He lets her decide to lean in and speak. That small act of comfort in silence creates a subtle shift. Now she's the one trying to fill the space, trying to connect, trying to earn his attention. This is the silent psychology of attraction. It flips the script. Instead of you chasing her with words, you invite her to chase you with curiosity. Part 2. Why silence creates mystery and desire. One of the deepest drivers of human attraction is mystery. When something is unknown, our brains become obsessed with filling in the gaps. Think of your favorite TV series. Why do cliffhangers work so well? Because they leave unanswered questions. That same principle applies in relationships. When you don't reveal everything at once, you create a curiosity gap that keeps her intrigued. Now, here's where silence becomes powerful. When you don't rush to explain yourself, you seem layered, like there's more to discover. When you don't immediately share every detail, she imagines the story herself, and her imagination is often more compelling than reality. When you're not constantly talking, she wonders what's going on in your mind. And that mystery draws her in. There's a famous phrase in psychology called the Zagornik effect. It states that the brain remembers incomplete tasks or unfinished stories better than completed ones. Your silence works exactly this way, leaves your story unfinished. and her mind keeps coming back to it. But let's ground this in reality. Imagine you're texting someone you like. If you send long, rapid messages explaining everything, you close the loop. There's no mystery left. But if you respond thoughtfully, sometimes briefly, sometimes allowing pauses, she starts to anticipate, to wonder, to invest emotionally. In real-life conversations, silence has the same effect. A pause after she says something, followed by a knowing smile or steady eye contact, can feel electric. She doesn't just hear your words, she feels your presence. Here's the key. Mystery doesn't mean manipulation. It doesn't mean playing games or withholding affection. It means respecting your own value enough not to overspend your energy. By holding back, by letting silence do the work, you're showing that you don't need to overprove yourself. That restraint, that calmness is irresistible. Part 3. The emotional impact of silence doesn't just work on a psychological level, it also hits emotionally. Women often describe the most attractive men as those who make them feel safe. And safety isn't always created by words. In fact, constant talking can feel unsafe, can feel pushy, unstable, or overwhelming. Silence, when done right, communicates security. It says, I'm comfortable in myself. I don't need to prove anything. I'm not afraid of space between us. These messages reach her emotions more deeply than any compliment could. Let's say you're on a walk with her. You don't need to fill the air with constant talking. A shared silence paired with a relaxed smile can feel more intimate than words. She feels your presence. She feels that you're not anxious, that you're steady. That emotional grounding becomes something she craves. This is why many women say, it's not about what he said. It's about how he made me feel. Silence helps create that feeling safe. Desired. Part 4. How to use silence without seeming cold now. Let's get practical. Silence is powerful, but only if used the right way. If overdone, it can come across as cold, distant, or uninterested. The art is in balance. Here are a few strategies. Pair silence with body language. Don't just sit stiffly. Lean back, smile, maintain soft eye contact. Show warmth with your presence, not just your words. Use the pause of power. When she asks a question, don't rush to answer. Take a moment, breathe, then respond. That pause shows thoughtfulness and control. Listen more than you speak. Silence doesn't mean ignoring. It means making space for her words. When you listen fully, then respond slowly, she feels valued. Balance talking with silence. Share stories, jokes, insights, but don't rush. Let moments breathe. Remember, it's the rhythm of conversation that makes it alive. Don't weaponize silence. This is important. Silence should never be used to punish or manipulate. It's about confidence, not control. The goal is connection, not power games. When used with warmth, silence becomes a gift. It gives her space to open up. It invites her into the moment. And paradoxically, it makes her want more of you. Part 5. Real-life examples on a date. When the food arrives, don't rush to fill the silence. Take a bite, smile, enjoy the moment. She often breaks the silence herself, trying to reconnect. In texting, instead of instant replies, allow natural pauses. It signals you have a life, that you're not anxiously waiting. In conflict, when emotions rise, silence can calm the situation. A deep breath before responding shows maturity. In attraction, a pause with steady eye contact can feel more intimate than 1,000 words. These are not tricks. They are ways of embodying calm, confidence, and presence. Part 6. The transformation it creates when you master silence. Something shifts. Women begin to see you differently. As a man who chases, but as a man who draws them in. They feel curiosity. They feel safety. They feel desire, and here's the deeper truth. This isn't just about women. It's about who you become. Silence teaches you patience, presence, and self-control. It shapes your character. It makes you magnetic not only in dating, but in business, friendships, and life. Conclusions Islands is not emptiness. It's presence. It's strength. It's the invisible thread that draws people closer. When you stop fearing silence, you discover its secret power. It makes others lean in, chase, and invest. In love, this transforms the dynamic. Instead of over-explaining or over-proving, you simply are. And that presence is more than enough. If today's message resonated with you, remember you're not alone on this journey. Awaken Mindset is a community built for men and women who want to grow not by chasing harder, but by awakening deeper truths within themselves. So if you found value here, join us. Subscribe, share this with someone who needs it. And let's continue building a space where confidence, psychology, and emotional growth come alive. Because the secret isn't just silence. It's awakening who you truly are.